strong support for American foreign policy and America's so-called war on terror and its actions against pro-Taliban militants, all of which did not go down very well at all in the radical wings here. And it was understood that that was what motivated the suicide attack against her procession in Karachi, and perhaps also this suicide bombing in Rawalpindi, although it should be said no claims of responsibility have ever been made. But I think President Musharraf would make the point that the establishment, political leaders, army personnel, government officials are all being targeted.
In the short term, do you think that it's likely the elections due to be held on January the 7th will be cancelled?
I can't honestly answer that question. Before we got the news that Ms. Bhutto had died, I would have said they would almost certainly continue, that a suicide bombing at a public rally, even if it had injured a political leader, would not have stopped the elections. But I think the situation has changed now, and I'm not really able to make a judgment on that.
But one way or another, a huge impact on the dynamic of what goes on in Pakistan.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, Benazir Bhutto has really livened up the political scene here. She is a well-known figure. She carries with her the legacy of her father. She has a very loyal following. She is quite a brave political leader, although she has been criticized quite a lot for many things, for sometimes her judgment. She has been accused of corruption and so on. Many people see her as a political stalwart within Pakistan and one of the heavy players. And to have her removed from the scene in such a violent way will certainly have an impact on the way the politics plays out here in the next weeks.
Do you think, given what happened at her homecoming rally, the suicide explosion there, that she was reckless, as one of our guests has suggested, reckless to some degree with her own security?
Well, there were some people who accused her of not taking it seriously enough in that particular case, in terms of going on a procession through the streets of Karachi in a very slow way, crowded around with people, very difficult for security forces to try to protect such a procession. She herself said in an interview published recently that she had been told about threats to her life, but that she had been threatened many times before, and she didn't really think that these militants would attack her in front of the TV cameras. So it's not entirely clear that she really thought something dangerous would happen. She certainly was a people's campaigner. She liked to be out amongst the people. That was her strength. And so for her to have returned from exile and then sit in an armored vehicle just went against the grain. There have been some statements like that. Some people have made those accusations. Others have said she was, in fact, showing a lot of bravery, and that initially when she returned, she livened up what had been a very dead political scene. So I think people will draw their own conclusions.
OK, Barbara, for the moment, Barbara Plett in Islamabad, thank you very much.
Right, let's just sum up where we stand on this shocking breaking news out of Pakistan, that the Pakistan opposition leader, Benazir Bhutto, has been killed in a suicide attack at a campaign rally in the garrison town of Rawalpindi. A suicide bomber blew himself up just after the rally. It wasn't immediately clear how she died. We do know, though, that within minutes of that, we were hearing that she was seriously injured and that she was being taken to hospital where she underwent emergency surgery. And as we heard Barbara Plett saying just then, our correspondent in Pakistan, that at that point one of the members of her party came out from the hospital and announced that she'd died. We're also hearing from the Interior Ministry spokesman Javed Chima, who says it might have been pellets packed into the suicide bomber's vest that hit her. We'll bring you all the news, of course, as it comes in right here on the BBC